Black Panther guy.
T'Challa.
Yeah, T'Challa.
Yeah, but at least he died.
Yeah, that's
At
what I mean.
least
Like,
he died? No, bro. You can't say at least he died.
No, I'm talking.
let's take a step back in time. Let's remember like the gold age of Marvel. Kids were getting out of high school. People like even in high school, teachers once they heard like the new Avengers trailer came out, they would make their like the students even watch it with them.
How many years have we waited for Assassin's Creed? Actually bring in a ninja or a Japanese theme.
Oh, a long time.
Yes.
Long time.
Yes.
But they failed.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they failed.
And they did. They did.
Yeah.
The
Because-
Ronin one, I think it's called Ronin.
No,
No,
Shadows.
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 Rise
yeah.
of the Ronin was Team Ninja.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
game.
Oh yeah.
But my point with Shadows is yes, the games are always gonna be beautiful because you have really amazing artists working on it.
AAA titles are pretty much saturating the market, but they're slowly dying. You notice that?
I did notice it. It reminds me of a phrase that says, "Can there be too much of a good thing?"
Yeah.
Which I guess now that we see it, and especially in the AAA market,
Oh yeah.
it definitely can be a bad thing.
The most prime example I can think of is Marvel. The last movie that we were assuming was going to be big was Captain America. But it came to the point that even Hideo Kojima could not understand the plot.
Hideo
He
Kojima.
actually said that.
Wow.
Hideo Kojima, Death Stranding, Metal Gear Solid, didn't understand the goddamn thing in the movie.
Wow. That's a new thing for
Yeah,
sure.
because they were all over the place.
I haven't
and-
seen it personally, but I seen the hype around it. Basically non-existent.
Ever since Endgame, pretty much just been going slightly down. And
Let's
after Kang the Conqueror was pretty much the actor who played Kang the Conqueror was arrested. They had to derail.
yeah.
I mean, we did mention this before the podcast. They could have switched the actor, like how they switched Edward Norton
Simply.
and Mark Ruffalo. Different Hulk. Sure, Mark Ruffalo was a better Hulk, but which the actor he could have found a different one, a better one.
It's not like he even played the role yet. Like biggest example of like, oh, they didn't switch the actor, they just changed the character is what's his name? The Black Panther guy.
T'Challa.
Yeah, T'Challa.
Yeah, but at least he died.
Yeah, that's
At
what I mean.
least
Like,
he died? No, bro. You can't say at least he died.
I'm not saying in terms of the actor. I'm saying in terms of the character. The character and the actor died. Hence, that's how they're able to do it. And
Yeah, but like the way they did it was a lot more graceful
of
yeah, that's
course,
what I
than
mean.
actually recasting. You know what I mean?
You know why? Because while he was still acting in Endgame and Black Panther, he was still fighting off cancer.
I know, which is amazing.
Yes.
So that's what I mean.
was a
Like
proper
there was an
send-off.
actor who like passed away. They couldn't cast another actor in his place.
Yeah.
So they like changed the whole character. But the thing with Kang the Conqueror, they could have just switched the actor. No one would have cared.
And hence, since it's a multiversal thing,
Literally.
they could have really written that in the character thing.
Yeah.
You know, I changed the way you look different. The multiverse changed me.
I mean, yeah, that can work.
That can work,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely.
Same way how they recast what's his name? Terrence Howard with
Harrison Ford.
no, Terrence Howard, the Iron Patriot with Don Cheadle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Brody. Oh yeah.
They recast Rhodey.
Yeah.
They even recast that Chris Evans from the Human Torch to Captain
Oh no,
America.
that was a cameo.
Yeah, Fantastic Four was not really an MCU thing.
That was not a real movie.
It was part of I think the deal from Fox. when they were-
it was part of Fox. Yeah.
But can you believe that one did well while the other Fantastic Four did not do well?
They can't just nail it. Like the original one was such an iconic movie.
Exactly.
They captured all of the like entertaining parts. of
True,
it.
but also Jessica Alba.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course, Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba.
Funnily enough, Jessica Alba kinda did face oversaturation. They
Where?
always like casted her into the pretty role, the one that is expected to be the beautiful actor.
girl.
Oh,
Friend.
come on.
Yeah.
Is she not though?
She is, but she
You
herself.
cannot judge a book by its cover.
True. Fair
She
enough.
is, but
You know
she
what?
herself was
Yeah.
annoyed from that. She didn't want to continue being in the same mold, which kind of was like putting a lot of stress on her.
I mean, imagine if you are someone who wants to get into, let's say, action, adventure, or a different kind of genre, but they keep casting you based on your looks and rom-coms,
yeah.
chick flicks.
Yeah.
Or I use that, but it is a broad.
Yeah, she
term.
got typecasted.
That is a
Yeah,
very
you get
term.
you
Got
got a
typecasted.
typecast, and even Chris Evans. You got. Did you know how many times he was seen as the
The silly.
huh?
The silly guy,
the
right?
silly, the pretty boy, the dumb hot guy, because the way he looked. People are judged by their appearance, which is honestly,
It's an unfortunate thing.
it's an unfortunate thing.
But
Which later on affected the market. So the more these actors are judged by their looks, the more we see them in these underrated or overrated movies. Another prime example, Jason Statham. Literally every single movie, he's a guy with little to no choice about what he does, and he goes against an entire army and doesn't get barely hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen Working Man?
I have not.
Well, he's a working man.
I think every role Jason Statham plays is a working man.
Exactly.
The transporter, he's always doing something. It's always an occupation.
Right? Have you seen that stand-up comedian?
Yeah, I was referencing that stand-up comedian. actually. Yeah.
stand-up
I'm glad
comedian.
you picked up on it.
Yeah, because I saw that, and that stand-up comedian, he was referencing Jason Statham every single role. He's got a job.
Got a job to
he's
do.
a transporter. What else? Expendable.
There's always something.
Yeah, there's always something. So because of what he does for a living, they keep casting him in these quick cash roles.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Except the Expendables, which I think could have done well, but the 4 was kind of flop, major flop, because it missed that old guy nostalgia. And for the love of God, people, stop with the old people jokes on movies with old actors in it. We get it. They're old. They know it.
Is there a certain reason you don't like old jokes with the old people?
Yes? Do you want to know?
Please inform me more.
Maybe not on camera.
It's an ageist thing.
Maybe not on camera.
Oh, yeah. Because I got sick of these jokes.
Yeah.
Because every time, I saw Expendables 3 at one time, all right? And there always been Sylvester Stallone has a plan, all right? Oh, it's a good plan. There was this actress, I don't remember her name. It's a good plan. It was 1985.
Oh, you're talking about Red.
No. It was Expendables 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it
I
was
thought you were talking about
She's
Red.
an MMA fighter, by the way.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. But let's go back to
But-
Marvel.
Yeah,
But
let's
yeah.
go back to Marvel.
Okay,
Let's
so-
take a step back in time. Let's remember the gold age of Marvel. Kids were getting out of high school. People even in high school, teachers, once they heard the new Avengers trailer came out, they would make their the students even watch it with them.
Yeah.
Marvel was that thing. Once a trailer dropped, everyone stopped what they're doing. Everyone just went straight to see the trailer or just disappear from the internet so they don't get any spoilers.
Yeah, that was
So-
me. I did social media blackout
Exactly.
during the
Oh, yeah.
trailers.
That was how intense Marvel was back then.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel was that thing, like I said before. But even fake spoilers would put you in actual trouble. People would genuinely be angry if you gave them a spoiler. And just going to that experience, going to that movie, after seeing the movie, being affected by it for so long, having the whole personality of being an Avenger fan
Yeah.
was the norm back then. But that was the thing back then. But now you just don't see it. People don't really care.
There's no hype around it anymore.
Yeah, there's no
Because they
hype.
lost the prime actors.
I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's the case either.
I mean, you lost Iron. Let's be honest. You lost Iron Man. You lost Captain America, the original Captain America, Steve Rogers. You lost Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Thor has been AWOL. We haven't seen a decent Hulk in a long time. We only got She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the only good thing about that was the twerking, apparently. For some weird reason, everyone got obsessed about everything but the twerking on that particular episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. The moment those main ones were lost, like oversaturation of content, movies, TV shows of Marvel, you know, the more content they built, the more they got just pulled away. Even Captain Marvel, we don't know where she is.
Let me add to that actually. I think it's more of the fact that like the build-up's not there anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when Iron Man first came out, we didn't know an MCU was happening.
Exactly.
And then they started working on it. They did the Incredible Hulk. They did Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, the first Avenger, and so on, right? So there was a build-up. So you were always excited to get to the trailers, get to the cinema, to see what's happening,
Exactly.
right? And then I think after Endgame, that's when it became kind of oversaturated because we already got the payoff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
We
mean? So
reached
after the
the
payoff,
endgame.
exactly, we reached the Endgame.
Now, here's the question. Now, once we reach Secret Wars, no wait, it was what was it? Secret Wars?
Secret Wars, yeah.
All right. Once we reach Secret Wars, is that the final end game here,
No, I don't think
or
so.
was it Doomsday?
Doomsday is the
No
what's it
way.
called?
I think it is Secret Wars.
No. Doomsday. It's Secret Wars and then Doomsday.
Can we check just to be sure?
Hold on.
On your
But as he checks that,
yeah.
I don't think it's about like them losing the main actors because, for example, look at the latest Thor movie.
Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I don't think it did that well, or at least from what I seen, the audience didn't perceive it like that good.
Even Chris Hemsworth said it. He became a parody of himself. He quoted that. He became a parody of myself.
See, even the actor himself like thought he started overdoing it.
Yeah.
He started.
I think it's more of the writing though, and also you're right. Yeah, Secret Wars is the end game.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even the actors themselves are starting to feel the oversaturation.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, they did make us get hooked to with the actors. I get like your point. Oh, that like the people that we got hooked on are no longer
I
there.
remember the reaction the people got when Robert Downey Jr. was announced as Doctor Doom.
I definitely know.
When you
What
bring
you
back
mean?
an iconic actor, you bring back the old life because Robert Downey Jr. was the first Avenger.
Yeah.
Well, not first Avenger, but first Avenger in the MCU. The first MCU movie.
Yeah, I get
Hence-
what you mean.
Yeah, hence he was the one who started. I'm thinking it should be him who should end it. That could have been the right point if Kang was not fired.
Yeah.
Now they made him into the main villain. Going back to the saturation part, there was no other choice. We could have. I mean, a bunch of other projects probably got scrapped because of that one act.
Yeah.
We don't even know what's happening with Marvel yet. The Captain Marvel, all right? Because of that, I think of that.
Didn't they do the Marvels?
They did do the Marvels, and apparently, what's her name? What's her name?
Brie Larson.
Not Brie Larson. The other one.
Other one.
She's the daughter of her best friend.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Basically,
I didn't see the Marvels.
But I will tell you one thing. She basically exploded, ish, into the like photon or something, and then she wound up in the X-Men universe.
What?
Yeah, Beast was there, original Beast
Okay.
from X-Men. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But may I add,
yeah,
regarding like the oversaturation part,
yeah.
I do think it's not more of the actors. I don't think it's more of the. It's definitely regarding more the writing. Like,
It is.
let's look at, for example, Loki, the show.
Yes.
It was something new. It was a show focusing on the villain. It was a show focusing on Yeah, he was the antagonist, I think they would
yeah.
call it.
Yeah,
for one of the Marvels.
He's one of the timeline that escaped or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was like, a big thing, but it wasn't really expected for them to do a whole show about Loki. And it was perceived really, really well.
But to be fair, Loki's writing was really good though.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
But
Loki's
that's my
like
point.
yeah. So like even WandaVision was really good writing.
I remember the 50s. The 50s look.
Yeah.
It was.
It was great,
But
man.
that's my whole point about it. Like, if the writing is good, people will watch it. Look at Moon Knight.
Oh,
Moon Knight, no one expected like a B tier character from the comics to have his own thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he did have his own thing, and it went amazing. Fun fact, some of it was filmed in Egypt. But that's what I mean. That's like not oversaturation. They picked, let's get this character to the movies. Let's even go even further. Luna Snow from Marvel Rivals. That's literally a character that had like 3 different comics maximum before
Okay.
going into the game. But after they introduced her to the game, she blew up. Like, when you introduce new things in a good way, it does well.
Kind of like remember how it could have been maybe it was like. I get what you're saying. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. One of the games. Vegeta was introduced as Super Saiyan 3. Then in the mangas, then they brought him finally into the anime. Yeah, it was in Dragon Ball Daima.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, you introduce a character in a certain way very well. People have been wanting to see this for a long time. But if they want, but that's for an iconic character. This one, as you said, was the comics.
Yeah.
Not even C tier.
Exactly. It was literally an unknown character. People went, who is this? Well, why is this character in over, for example, a whole different character? She got in over Ultron. Like, Ultron is very iconic, but she was there in the beginning. He wasn't.
What about Lady Galactus? That one was weird.
Yeah, just the daughter of Galactus.
Daughter of
randomly.
Galactus?
I think so. Isn't Lady Galactus the daughter of Galactus?
Galactus didn't have a daughter. He just had himself. And the Silver
think
Surfer.
It was very weird. I think Galactus himself was pregnant with her. Something like a symbiote. Like,
The only symbiote I can figure was like something to do with those heralds was the Silver Surfer. Then he became Void Knight. Yeah, he was later on a playable character in Marvel Strike Force.
I see.
Oh yeah. It was one of the times the symbiotes actually had a kind of a symbiotic relationship with a host that's actually a celestial.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, as you see all of these examples in Marvel that Marvel did, adding a new thing in a niche way or in a good way, people often really do like it. They don't have to keep doing the repetitive formula again and again and again. Like, I didn't see the new, what's it called?
Thunderbolts?
Yeah, Thunderbolts. But why are they being marketed as the new Avengers? I haven't seen the movie.
It was
so I don't know.
probably the like a last minute or last desperate effort for Marvel to bring back the Avengers in a different way. How it looked is like how they were recruited or brought together is literally the same way. Total and utter chaos. Because think of it this way. When you saw the Avengers, you think they were a good team?
They learned to be a good
They
team.
learned to be a good team through a lot of trial and a lot of error.
Yeah.
All right?
A lot of fighting too.
And a lot of fighting.
A lot.
Civil
of
War,
fighting.
one of the best Avengers movies.
Civil War?
Yeah. Sorry, Captain America. Civil War.
I know. That's how they learned to fight together?
No, they were infighting. That's why it's called Civil
Yeah,
War.
yeah.
I know. No, it's a civil war. That's why I was wondering why did you mention that? Because that was a civil
No, because
A lot of
that's
infighting.
Yeah,
fighting the
yeah, yeah.
problems out.
Oh,
yeah, pretty
fight-
much.
Yeah, and there was a lot of the chaos. But I'm telling you, the Avengers was a chaotic chemical equation.
Yeah.
They worked. They barely worked, but they worked somehow. Likely. When the new Avengers came together, they knew they were losers. They knew they were worth nothing. They knew they were literally so low tier that they should never be on movies. And yet, here they are.
Seeing an example of like how new things do well compared to oversaturation in the market is the most grossing film of overtime, Avatar. Avatar was like not a series. It wasn't like known before. It wasn't something that everyone was building up expectations to.
Avatar, in general, is the only original movie ever done that is quite literally, it's taking inspirations from tribes, from things here and there, and brought
Wait.
together-
Let's clarify. Is it Avatar: The Last Airbender,
No, of course
or
not.
actually Avatar?
Actual
Okay.
Avatar.
If you said
Okay.
Avatar,
Avatar-
Pandora
Last
Avatar,
Airbender.
James Cameron's Avatar. Okay.
Yeah, after The Last Airbender was such a horrible movie. Let's not even.
Okay.
Or-
I
or
was gonna
show.
say
Or
because I was
show.
gonna get mad at the movie. Don't say show. The original show was amazing.
The show was
The Netflix
lovely.
adaptation is
So,
terrible.
Okay.
Okay, they tried to make it too grown up,
They
too
tried
modern.
to make it woke.
Yeah. Do that. Anyway,
All right. So
I just wanted to clarify.
yeah, it's clarified. All right. Avatar,
Mhm.
the movies,
James Cameron.
the James Cameron, the blue people, the Navi.
Mhm.
We cleared that.
Yep, clear.
All right. Keep going. So it was a beautiful movie of all of our inspirations from everywhere.
Exactly.
James Cameron made a masterpiece,
Exactly.
$1 billion masterpiece.
The most grossing movie of all time till now.
Yeah,
Period.
got beaten by Endgame years back.
But didn't return.
Oh yeah, they had a re-release.
Yeah.
James Cameron wants to be on top. Can't blame him.
But
Can't
that's
blame him.
number one.
Can't blame him, honestly. And people do like the classics every now and then.
So why is Avatar oversaturated though? Like why is it oversaturated?
It's not. That's what I mean. It's
Okay,
one of the
okay.
biggest examples of look, a new thing. People
Yeah.
like it.
see this. So Marvel, how many Marvel movies are there so far?
Like
I've
at least
lost
a
count, to be
bajillion.
honest.
Exactly, we're losing count. How many Avatar movies are there so far?
Two.
There's gonna be at least 3 more. All right,
All right.
but it's based on how he's doing it. Like he did the forest people, he did the water people. He's gonna do fire next,
Fire and Ash.
fire and ash, and he's gonna do the wind people. I don't know how, or maybe sky people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, from the Navi. He's gonna do 5. It's gonna be either the final conclusion where everything comes together.
Okay.
So, but I'd say it's more about it's gonna come to a point where Jake Sully is gonna become Taruk Maktal again.
I feel like no. I feel like it's gonna be passed on to his kid.
The screw up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
No, I feel like it will. Because that's usually the case when it comes to like coming of age stories, right? They'll screw up, they're not really that great, they're rebellious, you know.
Oh,
But
come on,
then a
Scout.
life-changing thing happens.
You're a scound, you know that?
Well, whatever. I know what it is, but like, you know, my point is, okay,
Short
like
progression, right?
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Character
Because
development.
character
Exactly.
development. Exactly.
He will grow up. He will get better. He will upgrade. He will evolve.
That is usually the trope. The
I
movie
hate
trope.
that trope so much.
Why is that?
It's just I always hate the character that's like having the character development, especially if it's done in a like, oh, look at how great the father is, and look how the kid is being disobedient and a rebel. Oh, something happened to the father. The kid now has to sub.
Well,
Oh, the kid now
well-
loves the father.
well, let's be honest. In the second movie, the brother was more like the perfect soldier,
Mhm.
the older brother.
Yeah.
Then the second brother was the screw up because he was a rebel and nobody understood him, more or less.
I wouldn't say a screw up, but yeah, made it hard for sure.
He was always disobedient. He watch the movie. Trust me on this.
I've seen the movie.
Watch it again.
I've seen it many times. I'm just saying. He's not
Go
really
on,
that
go on.
big of a screw up.
It's an opinion. Go on.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was not overshadowed by the father, not just by the father. He was also overshadowed by the perfect brother, who was the soldier.
Yeah, Netayam.
Matean.
Netayam.
It was Netayam. Sorry. Is my point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which will lead later on to more character development. It's a coming of age story.
Yeah.
You know? We don't even know how many years is it going to be between the second and the third movie. But they will keep moving.
But that's not our point. Like my point. Let's return back on topic. The whole oversaturation.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This franchise is doing so well, and it only has 2 movies.
Yeah.
Right. While the Marvel cinematic universe has
Kind of failing.
and has so much. This.
Can we get a fact check how many Marvel movies there are now? Go on.
All right. There's about 2 video games for Avatar.
Yeah.
All right. One was made by Ubisoft. The other one was made, I don't know how long, but it was on PlayStation 3.
Okay.
That's 2. All right. Marvel, countless. Especially after the cinematic universe. Yeah. Countless.
I agree.
Yeah. Spider-Man also.
36 films.
36.
36 films.
9 more in development.
9 more in development.
Sheesh.
Any canceled?
I don't know. I'm not really looking deep.
But I'll tell you one thing. Blade is canceled.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Wesley Snipes is grinning right now. Remember in Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah.
There's always gonna be one Blade. Then Deadpool gave us that look. I think he knew.
I guess
See
so.
how there was an actor that sued like the movie because they felt what's his name, Ryan Reynolds was like actually making fun of him and stuff.
Can you blame him? The movie had so many years in 2000, I don't know, 19, 20, since it was announced. Nobody got so far anywhere. Now they're considering bringing back Wesley Snipes as the original Blade. And then they have Ali, what's his name? Something Ali?
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
Amazing actor. One of my favorite actors.
And they team up together.
Well,
This is how far the saturation is going. They have so much stuff and projects going on that they don't know what to do with the rest if they get left out.
let's look at another example in movies.
Hmm.
The Godfather.
The God.
I feel like it was a perfect first movie, but then like they tried to make a series out of it. If I recall correctly, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
The third movie didn't do well at all. I know like the first 2 did pretty well, but I don't think the third one did well if I recall correctly.
Think of it this way. You're always gonna be trying to overachieve. You're overreaching. You wanna top yourself. Like you wanna do much better. Like it's like saying there's always this is the best part of the Caribbean. No, this is the best part. You always, as an actor who's in a film series, he wants his acting style to top itself more.
Yeah.
But can he? Because specifically, Godfather had
Excellent writing, dude.
Yes.
Excellent writing.
And it had an ensemble of characters,
like
an ensemble of cast that were on the same movies. And
Such a brilliant movie.
Yeah. And we're always together, you know?
Yeah.
Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, lots of other Italian actors well known to today.
A very funny trivia I heard about like the Godfather movies was the director, I'm not sure his name, but he literally, I think that was one of his first few movies in his directing career. He afterwards he looked into like, oh, I want to be a better director. So he purchased a book on how to be a better director. The book told him, if you want to be a good director, go watch The Godfather and do everything that he did. That's such a fun trivia to me.
That's Frank Coppola is just like, he's crazy.
Yeah.
He's crazy good.
I've got to watch The Godfather. Yes,
yeah, time for a rewatch. But anyway, let's move on to like gaming though. Like I wanna talk about the oversaturation of some AAA games being the same thing over and over again, right?
Would you?
So like,
would we take as a prime example Assassin's Creed?
I was gonna get into that, right? So
Yes.
Assassin's Creed prime example is because it's a yearly release now,
Yeah.
and yearly it's kind of not really held up. Like the game still looks beautiful, of course, because it's
The
based
scenery.
based on relocations, some creative liberties here and there.
Always.
but
Primarily the story is just not there anymore.
Mm.
So that's why I feel like it's become a little oversaturated.
to me, it feels like they tried to save themselves. Like, let's talk about the first few Assassin's Creed. They were wonderful.
Yes.
Everyone like appraises them.
Because they had the storyline of Desmond Miles.
Indeed. But what I mean more of, like, they had a good formula going on. But they started to kind of overdo it with, I don't know, let's say Syndicate, I think. The
yeah.
British one. Or Unity. Unity was not well perceived, if I recall correctly.
And also Rogue. Rogue was released the same time as Unity.
Yeah.
And that was about an assassin's hunter who actually betrayed them and went to the Templars. I mean, barely anyone knows Shane, what's his name? Yeah, because he defected from the assassins and became a Templar. But no proper marketing, just one trailer. They just released them both at the same time. One was on 3, the other one was on 4. And this was like on the time of called the conversion period of 3 to 4.
Yeah.
So they were still developing games for 3, at the same time developing for 4.
But they tried to save like themselves after Unity. They like, oh, people are sick of this formula, so let's change it up a little.
They had some online.
They made, I think, after Unity, or I'm not sure like how long afterwards, but they came out with Origins, and Origins was like very well perceived. People loved Origins.
As well as Odyssey.
Indeed, and Odyssey.
I think it's primarily the open world that sold both of those games.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
And like the landscape and it being,
And the story. The
Yeah,
story
yeah.
in particular because
the story's okay.
they brought in mythological creatures. They
Yeah.
never did-
Yeah, but still, I feel like the story's still not there for me. Like the gameplay is great.
Because you want to see what are they doing, basically. What's their end game? Where are they getting to this?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
they just running a simulation, or are they really doing something? Because right now I played Shadows. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing any mention of the Animus. I don't see who I'm
I
playing.
think they've abandoned that idea, the whole simulation idea. I feel like they did because like
I think they're just
since Origin,
yeah.
right? That's when they abandoned that idea. There wasn't much in terms of simulation. Like, don't fact check me on this because like this is off the top of my head. I played it one time.
They have not.
Yeah, so I played it one time. I didn't really pay attention much because like it wasn't as engaging compared to the first game. Assassin's Creed 2 with Ezio and up to Revelations, up to Black Flag with Kenway.
They did not abandon the idea. Well, one of them had the initiate with Black Flag, or I think it was Black Flag. But when they got to Origins, they brought in a new character called Layla Hassan.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not. Yeah, you can fact check me on this, Layla Hassan. Yeah, and somehow they brought in some Arabic terms. Yalla habibti. The moment she woke up, right from the Animus, she was doing the same thing for the ancestor. She was actually working for Abstergo. Things after that happened. She had defected to the Assassin's Brotherhood, blah blah blah. But
Yeah, let's not get deep into it.
but they still did it. Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. However, Valhalla, they still kept the Animus going in and out, right? But something happened in the end. Mirage, I'll tell you this: they went back to the roots, but I don't see
The authentic feel of it.
I see the old feel, but I don't see a story. As at this point, all I'm seeing is literally just the story of the Templar and Assassins Wars. I don't see the future connection. Because right now there's no future connection. It's just the story of the Assassin and Templars. Alas.
Yeah, I feel like at this point they're just trying to sell video games. They're not really trying to give you an experience anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
There's no story, just the video game experience. I put in Assassin's Creed, and that's it.
Yeah.
How many years have you waited for Assassin's Creed? Actually bring in a ninja or a Japanese theme.
Oh, long time.
Yes.
Long time.
Yes.
But they failed.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they failed.
And they did. They did.
Yeah.
The
Because-
Ronin one? I think it's called Ronin?
No,
No,
Shadows.
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 Rise
yeah.
of the Ronin was Team Ninja.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
game.
Oh yeah.
But my point with Shadows is yes, the games are always gonna be beautiful because you have really amazing artists working on it, like the environments, the physics, and all of this.
Yes, the
Right.
NPCs.
Yeah.
Oh,
These are all great, but that's not the only thing that sells the game.
Yeah, it's not only about the graphics.
Exactly.
The combat
So like,
system was clunky.
yeah, and there's just too many Assassin's Creeds. You know,
Exactly. And
there's no time to play all of them.
It's just you know, you ever play Ghost of Tsushima?
I did.
You felt the combat was great.
I love the combat.
Yeah,
Now in
because it's
Shadow,
fresh, it's new.
exactly. And every time he actually kills someone, he actually kills it with precision, style, and posture. I know because I played kendo, so I know how that works. So in Shadows, when you play Yasuke, the samurai, okay, it's just it's like
Style over substance.
though there is some style,
Is there a lore reason for it?
like in terms of
In terms maybe he's inexperienced with the
he
art
was
of sword.
experienced. He was adopted. He was taken into Nobunaga's service, learned the way of the sword of the samurai, then became the actual first black samurai.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
historical fiction, but like
Yes.
Yasuke as a character, there's an actual person named Yasuke, but it can't be denied or confirmed whether or not he became an actual
Yes.
samurai.
Yes, there was some debate going on there whether he
Yeah,
is an
yeah.
actual. He is
But
an
that's
actual
not
character.
like that's not really the point. I think.
Yeah, that's
The point is like how it feels overdone, way
exactly
overdone.
exactly with all of the games of Assassin's Creed being done, you could have at least seen, they could have learned from Ghost of Tsushima how they had style over that they had proper style and substance. That the fighting style would have been at least done right after all these years,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had
yeah.
a ninja and a samurai. You had someone who had stealth. Same time, they could have done with style, proper style of assassination, as well as katana combat. You had a samurai who had the ability apparently to be a raging bull because you press the R3 button. You know what happens when you go to a locked door?
What happens?
You literally break through it.
Wow.
That's kind of lame.
A lot of
I know.
a lot of Assassin's
know.
Creeding happening.
I know. But that's only for Yasuke.
Yeah.
If you play Naue, you climb.
Yeah. Another game I would say is like oversaturated was the Call of Duty games,
Definitely.
right?
But
Because like
at least with
I will
them,
leave you to talk about this because I
yeah, you're not a shooter. You're not a shooter.
No, I would do not want to talk about Call of Duty.
Okay, well, the point is, right, like Call of Duty was basically releasing the same game every year.
yeah.
The only difference was like newer guns, newer like different like movement system.
Maps.
Yeah, maps too. They brought back some maps as well, but like they kind of learned from that and kind of stopped making more.
Definitely. But let's more focus on like how they saturated it. They like you said, they released basically the same game every year, and they even tried to like re-innovate it with the whole futuristic look.
Yep.
Wasn't one of the games had a very, very huge update that was bigger than the game itself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Warzone though.
Yeah. But they even tried to renovate the whole series by making it more futuristic.
Yeah.
And-
Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, Advanced Warfare, Infinity Warfare, which was, I'm pretty sure, the most disliked video on YouTube in like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think Infinity Warfare like reached 100k. In the first.
Damn.
Yeah, it was that.
Okay,
bad
that's gotta be a
video
record.
saved.
Yeah, Infinite Warfare was kind of meh.
Yeah. So they even tried to renovate. They said, "Hey, look, we have futuristic things.
Yeah,
Please
no one
let
likes
us
that.
continue making yearly releases."
I mean, what?
Yeah, no one likes that.
What if I googled like right now? What is the most disliked video game trailer on YouTube?
Yeah,
Real
go
quick.
for it. I think it would be Infinity
You think we'd have an
Warfare.
answer?
You think Infinite Warfare is the most disliked video game trailer?
All right.
Because it was a really big thing once. Like
It was.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
A lot of people went just to dislike that. They tried to like reinvent the wheel, basically.
Yeah.
That is exactly the
That
phrase
was the
that
issue.
I was trying to the phrase I was looking for.
Yeah,
They tried to reinvent the wheel,
Yeah.
but the wheel was like right over there. The wheel exists. Why are you trying to reinvent the wheel?
Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare.
There you go.
Told ya.
3 million
3
dislikes.
million dislikes in the
3
first.
million dislikes.
Yeesh.
Although there is another one,
Mhm.
Baby Shark Dance.
Nah,
that
that's
doesn't
different.
count.
That's made for kids. Got 13.3 million.
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. It's not a video game.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they tried to reinvent the wheel. You have the wheel right there. You have the method. You have the formula. Why are you trying to create the new wheel?
Yeah.
Then they realized, okay, we're trying to reinvent the wheel. Let's take a few steps back. They released the whole Warzone thing.
Yeah,
Even though the updates
after Modern Warfare 2019.
yeah, even though the updates are very huge, I'm gonna agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But they focused on the whole Warzone thing. They whole focused on, hey, we're gonna focus on this game, and any like new games and stuff, we're gonna add it to Warzone.
Yeah, Activision is killing it right now with Warzone, to be honest.
They are. They're like
Yeah.
they're cooking up. That's what I mean. They focused on the wheel that they already have. They focused on the formula that people already love. They didn't try, hey, let's try to make a new thing. Let's not try to make a thing. The thing already exists.
Yeah.
Let's just
And by that standard, Grand Theft Auto.
yeah, exactly.
Grand Theft Auto 5. How many years have we on? Like what, 15 years now?
I have no clue.
No one knows at this point. No one knows.
I'm not counting, to be honest.
No,
I'm-
graduated, married, made, made,
And
made
Grand Theft
offspring.
Auto 5 plus online is still happening.
It is
Yeah.
still happening. That's the wheel.
While we are not yet going, maybe possibly not see number 6. They said it's costing more than actually building Burj Khalifa from Dubai.
Right? That's insane.
Burj Khalifa and also the torch.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That game is costing
Vendo Mall. Maybe not Vendo Mall, but
could be no, because we're talking about cost of construction,
Yeah.
not current cost. But man, there is no way that a game could cost that much if it's you're literally that number 6.
Well, if it's some highly anticipated game, I understand that they want to put a lot of resources into it.
But that would be like, isn't that kind of reinventing the wheel, Leo?
No, it's not. I don't think so.
they have the wheel and they're making it better, is what I
Because
believe.
like the formula for
The wheel
GTA
was fine.
hasn't changed.
yeah,
The wheel was 5.
the wheel was GTA.
No, the whole
all about
GTA
it.
thing.
Okay.
Like
So
if
that-
you think about it, GTA from San Andreas all the way to 5, it's
From Vice
basically
City,
the
you
same
mean?
thing.
I mean,
Yeah, from
Vice
Vice City.
City.
Yeah.
would you believe that me as a gamer that likes open world in general, I've never played the GTA.
Wow.
I have played from time to time. I tried it out. Just don't like being constantly just being chased by the
Yeah. No, but that's you know, that's apples and oranges.
And
What
not
we're
to
talking about is just like
not to mention when I'm playing, I always get shot. Not by the police, by other online players.
yeah, but that's
It's
different though.
I
What I'm
know.
talking about
That's
is
a personal thing, but yeah.
what I'm talking about is the fact that GTA, right? The formula has never changed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They've expanded on the game, but they didn't change the formula.
Just
You
like
know what
how
I mean?
Avatar didn't
Better
change the formula.
story, you know, they added the multi perspective story kind of thing in San Andreas. Sorry, in GTA 5 where you're playing like
they just
three.
said instead of a
You're playing
wheel, you
multiple
have
characters.
3 wheels.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But they didn't try to make a whole new invention. They didn't try to
yeah.
like make that wheel instead of a wheel, it's a hovercraft. They
Yeah.
focused on the wheel.
Yeah.
They kept building upon it. But maybe that's not a fair example. Rockstar is a now like
Rockstar
a
is pretty
multi-billion
big, yeah.
company.
Yeah, Rockstar's pretty big.
We can look at a more recent example. Clear Up Secure.
Yeah. Amazing
That
game. I
game-
talked about that game in the recent episode.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. That game was made by a bunch of like it's basically a new studio and it's made by 33 developers. They did increase over time, but that's the whole thing about it. It was like just a bunch of people coming together
But
to
they
do a
were
thing.
ex Ubisoft employees.
Yeah, they were ex-Ubisoft.
but they tried, hey, we don't have a wheel, let's try to get a wheel. They thought, and funnily enough, the things that they were focusing on when making Clear Up Secure was to be different.
It is completely different though. Like through like traditional turn-based games, for example, you can't dodge.
Yeah.
You can't block. With Clear Obscure, when it's the opponent's turn, you have a chance to actually dodge or block. Parry. But at the same time,
That's-
if you get hit, you kind of get one hit. You know, you
That's
kind of
incredible,
you
'cause
kind of
you
just die.
Because you're right, you can't.
Yeah, but it's
'Cause
a
that
new system.
Because that depends on your agility. If you got
Exactly.
agility points or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was RNG based, but now it's more skill based, the turn based combat, right? But like my point being, it's
Now that he said
fresh.
skill, now I know for sure he's gonna say I can't play this game because it has a skill issue.
Hey, you
No
said
one
it,
went
not
there.
us.
No one was going there. No one was going there.
No
Were
one
you not
even
gonna go
thought
there
about
since
it.
I wasn't gonna go there. I just wanted to talk about the game and how amazing the game is. The story was amazing.
I
The story is
think you would love
amazing.
the game, and I think you would complete the game.
I thank you. All right. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
here's another franchise I want to talk about as an ending. This Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Now we've seen Final Fantasy all over the years. Have you played 16?
I have not.
Have you played 15?
I'm not sure which ones that I played. Honestly, they're
Okay.
way
Which
too many
characters?
now.
Which characters do you remember?
The ones that I remember is just I played the original one, 7, the one with
Oh, Cloud.
Okay,
Okay.
Cloud.
Yeah.
So 7.
Did
Final
you play
Fantasy
the
7.
remake?
Nope.
All right. Did you know that in the remake they were actually counting on Rebirth being more than it is? Because it was not.
It was not. No.
It was not.
In what sense?
Apparently they were counting on the game being more. It would be more climactic than what it is. But honestly, all they did, to be honest, they remade a whole different gaming system, a whole different cutscene, all graphics, everything from.
They changed everything in 7.
They have to.
No,
what-
I don't think so.
Well-
Because like they could have still kept with the traditional turn based. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because like
you know why they even changed the whole system?
Yeah.
Because they figured, oh, no one is gonna like turn-based games.
yeah, that's the
Meanwhile,
issue.
Look at Baldur's Gate. Look at Clear Up Secure.
Yep.
Remember, you ever played Digimon? Hacker's Memory?
That's I think
That's
that-
super old, man. I think
How hear me out. Did you know that game later on became auto? Oh yeah. Going back to your point, they will not play what do you call it? Turn-based games. That game is turn-based. You choose
Yeah.
your attacks, etc. Later, the second Hacker's Memory, they added, I think it's called Cyber Sulith something.
the auto battler.
They added the ultimate.
yeah.
As you said, people will not be playing turn-based games. What are the other kind of turn-based games we can consider? Super Robot Wars,
Pokemon.
Pokemon, literal turn-based. Okay. What else?
Paper Mario.
SD Gundam.
There's so many turn-based games.
So many turn-based
it's
games.
it's not about the
Exactly.
amount of turn-based games
It's
that's
about
out
making
there.
it fun.
That's what I'm saying. These are examples of turn-based games that are fun.
I wouldn't say fun. It's more about engaging with the story because I vividly remember liking 7 more than 8 or 9 because the story was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. It's
Compared to 8, story was also good. 8 was kind of peak also, but it wasn't for me because 8 was more of a love story, you know, than like one man saving the world kind of deal,
Yeah.
which is 7. You know, and 9 was also diving deeper into like a love story kind of thing and like a friendship thing.
What
But
about 10?
my point is because this is what I always drive home driving home my point is story is king.
Yeah.
Okay, gameplay is second to story.
Definitely.
You can have amazing gameplay like Horizon Forbidden West for example, but the story wasn't there for me. So like I played it still, I finished it, but I couldn't replay it. Compared to Horizon Forbidden West, or sorry, Horizon Zero Dawn, the first game, I've replayed like 6 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you're going into a game looking for a story like Horizon Forbidden West or Zero Dawn or Final Fantasy, which are all narrative driven story or games,
Yes.
right? You're expecting a good story. You're expecting to be, like thinking out of the box, like maybe philosophical kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Compared to just gameplay, which is the Monster Hunter series, right? Which for me, story was never the king for those series because the king for Monster Hunter was always gameplay.
Oh yeah.
Now, a good mix of the two are the Souls games, right? You can hate on me on this one, Abdurrahman, because my point is,
look,
like the way
I will not hate on you,
Uh-huh.
right? Because I know how fun Souls games are. They are just
it's very rewarding, right? So
It's
my
very
point,
the
rewarding.
punishment is rewarding.
yeah. So my point stays the same. Like the story in these games in Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, maybe not so much 2, but like Dark Souls 1, 3, Elden Ring, Sekiro, Bloodborne, all of the stories in these games are amazing.
Yeah.
Although they were portrayed, or the story was delivered in a different way.
Yeah.
Instead of actual linear story progression, you have character progression. And then you find out the story through the items you find in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So like I feel like story is still king. Gameplay is second. But there are outliers like Elden Ring and the Souls games that combine both, where the gameplay is amazing and the story is amazing. But that's like a rare instance. You know what I mean?
Dark Souls is, I'm pretty sure you can never say any other game feels more rewarding. That feeling after like learning a boss way, learning how to dodge in the right time.
Yeah.
Learning even how to... Sekiro is like, to this day, the most fun game I ever played in my life.
Out of all of the Souls games, Sekiro is the one that I had the hardest time the most, to be honest.
And to me, it was the most fun one. And
Yeah.
funnily enough, when I reached the final boss, don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Go ahead, I don't mind.
But when I reached the final boss, I defeated him in like 2 to 3 goes. But I still felt the same rewarding feeling.
Yeah.
When I won bosses that took me like 20 tries.
Yeah.
Because to me, it felt like, oh, I developed with the game. Even though the boss is supposed to be like, oh, the big finale. But it wasn't. It was the big finale.
Yeah, it was still really hard.
Yeah, and it still was so satisfying.
Yeah.
Parrying in that time, like boom, bam, boom. Or just defeating, dodging in the correct time.
Yeah, hitting a frame perfect parry,
Exactly. That was so rewarding. That was so
rewarding
fun.
gameplay and like amazing story will always trump anything else.
Of course.
I haven't like gotten up from my seat recently for any other game, like winning an opponent or maybe in fighting games. Maybe in fighting games, but in like story games and all of those different type of games, winning doesn't have the same feeling as it does in like any of the Souls-like games.
Yeah, true.
There was one game where I had that feeling just recently, a couple of months back. It was Dynasty Warriors Origins, where I had to beat Lu Bu. Okay, no health potions. All right, on super hard mode. All right, super hard mode.
Is this a personal challenge or is there an achievement for
It's
it?
an achievement for
I
it.
see.
All right, it's actually two. One, you need it in order to get the red hair horse.
Yeah.
All right, and again, it's also part of the achievement.
Yeah, okay. I see.
In order for you to get the all the horses or be the toughest opponent in the game by extra hard mode, that was honestly a personal achievement for me to actually fight Lu Bu. But to get to beat him, I had to go change the weapons midway.
Ooh.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
Change weapons midway. All right. Then I had to gather my heroic or stamina or energy to use a specific ability which drained his stamina, so I can execute him.
I see.
And the more I execute, this execution has to be done. All right. And I was saving my rage mode because my rage mode made me invincible.
I see.
And he's like the type of character, like in that kind of difficulty, would kill you in like 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you maxed out.
Yeah, but what do all these games have in common though? They're all
Challenge.
fresh. They're
Challenge.
not just challenging. It's just fresh.
But it's
challenges,
fresh.
not challenging. Challenges.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like, because it's not a well-known, like they're not all well-known franchises, except for maybe Dynasty Warrior.
Oh yeah.
But my point is like, every single one of them brings something new to the table.
Of course.
They're not the same thing, right? It's labeled Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, but they're all different stories.
Definitely.
You can start at any single one of them and you can still relate to the next one and the next one and the next one. Compared to like Call of Duty or, I don't know, Assassin's Creed, that's oversaturation.
Definitely.
Because they're putting the same thing over and over again.
With just a different skin.
Yeah, it's basically a reskinned toy, you know?
But having a whole like just releasing a different toy, but not in the way to like, oh, instead of a gun, now I'm gonna do a spacecraft. It's like just do another gun, man. Like people want the original gun. People like the original gun.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to make it way too different?
Yeah.
Either stick to the formula that works, or like just don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Why do you think they brought in Valhalla? Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Because Origins worked out?
No. It was because Vikings were trending.
Ah.
At that time, Last Kingdom came out. The TV show.
Yep.
Vikings came out. All right. Another season. Okay. What else? Their Viking characters were in For Honor, Ubisoft title by the way, was more used than any other faction ever, and won so many times, more than any other more than the Knights, more than the Samurai.
I played with the Vikings.
See my point? That's why they use it. They went with a trending formula, not a working formula.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's one of the reasons why I think they chose a Viking to be a main character in Valhalla. Also, he was not an assassin. He was helping the assassins. Oh yeah, they were not part of the Brotherhood. Just you know,
Just kind of there.
Help them here and there.
Kind of existed. Yeah.
kind of existed.
This and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because apparently the Norwegian gods were somehow related to the gods in the storylines.
Yeah, the Norse gods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Norse gods were somehow
Like Zeus and stuff?
no,
No, that's
Odin.
Greek.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Odin, Thor, all those. other
yeah,
gods.
Yeah.
So apparently they brought in Mars and Athena and all those other gods. Apparently they were kind of related in one way or another. Hence why they made it that the whole Hidden Ones, Brotherhood.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
they made it kind of universal. So they made it that it doesn't matter if you're an assassin or not, or from their bloodline or not. Anybody can be anybody.
Like my conclusion on the whole topic is like, even if you want to make the same thing over and over and over and over again, just focus on quality, don't focus on quantity. Biggest example, like I said, Marvel, 36 movies is a bit too much.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we
Assassin's
can
Creed, stop making annual games. Honestly, our wallets can't handle it.
it doesn't have to be annual. Look at Dark Souls. Look at this like From Software games.
Yeah.
They have a lot of, not a lot of games, but they have a couple of games, but no one's like disliking them. No one is trying to say, oh, you guys should stop for a bit. In fact, when people hear of the new like From Software game, they go bonkers about it.
Yeah.
Because they wait, they develop, they take their time.
Yeah.
By the time this episode released, Elden Ring Night Train has released
By tomorrow, I believe.
in 2 days.
Yeah.
In 2 days. But yeah, so like Elden Ring Night Train is like a fresh take on the whole Soul system,
Yeah.
right? Instead of it being like a full-on RPG, you get quick matches of 10 to 20 minutes.
Exactly.
You know, so people who aren't that big into the Souls games or want to get into the Souls games, this could be a great like entry point. You know what I mean?
A casual way.
Yeah, a more casual kind of way.
Yeah. It's aimed towards
There is
the
progression, yes. There
casuality
is
of it.
progression, but not compared to the progression you get actually playing Elden
Because you
Ring.
also get like
So it's
people
not
to
as-
help you.
So it's not as punishing as
No, it's still
Definitely not as punishing.
it's definitely not as
in-
punishing
in the
because you are
sense-
gonna go in with like 3 other people.
because
Yeah.
the same thing did happen to Rise of the Ronin. Because they said that they want to create a samurai open world game that is Souls like, but not with the same kind of not as punishing as the previous games. 'Cause
No. The thing with Night Train
yeah,
is it's co-op.
it's co-op.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's completely co-op, and you have classes, preset classes.
What are the
Right.
preset classes?
I don't remember,
Mage, rogue,
but like
strength.
think classic.
Yeah, because I remember Elden Ring did have as a starter. You can choose a samurai build.
Yeah. who
Yeah,
can
there
carry
is a
it.
samurai
That's so
class, but
cool.
like in Elden Ring, classes don't really exist.
Yes.
It's how you it's kind of like
how you customize
How you
it.
customize your build.
Yeah. So it's more of a starting point to give the player a starting point. You know what I mean? So you can go, oh, I want to do a dex build
But
or strength
now-
build. But now there are actual classes. So you have the classic rogue, you have the classic, the paladin, the knight, the priest,
Mage,
the mage, yeah.
the healer,
Yeah.
I actually might get into it.
Go
Yeah, but
for it.
it's a good entry point for newcomers, in my opinion. In any case,
Not
like
exactly a newcomer, but I do need to up my game a little in Souls-like and Souls games.
yeah. But I for me to conclude on the episode, my thing is always story is king.
Of course.
That will always be the number one for me. The
Ghost of
story
Tsushima,
is
in my
king.
opinion, was the best story ever.
Except in roguelike games, if I may add.
Roguelike.
Yeah, like Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah, but those are but those you're entering wanting gameplay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't compare Elden Ring to Tekken, for example. Because
For
Tekken, you're
sure.
entering Tekken for gameplay.
Yeah.
For punch,
To
kick.
fight.
Yeah,
To fight.
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about you, Abdurrahman?
Well, yeah, I agree with you. Story is king. You know, I go when I play Ghost of Tsushima, for example. Yeah, I know that I mentioned it a lot, but I do like the story. I keep listening to the haikus. I run through the battlefield, with the feeling of to rescue the uncle, to save the people.
Yeah.
All that is because the story has you so immersed that you are able to become the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. We may.
To be fair, Ghost of Tsushima is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It is a masterpiece of gaming.
I
agree.
would like to see Ghost of Yote, but I think at this point they're overselling the whole Onryo thing.
It looks interesting.
The Onryo thing is like a creature of a ghost of vengeance.
Yes.
They used it in Shadows.
Yeah.
They used it in Blue Samurai with the Blue
In the
Eyes-
show, yeah, the Blue-Eyed
Blue-Eyed
Samurai.
Samurai?
Yeah.
Blue-Eyed Samurai.
Blue-Eyed
Yeah,
Samurai.
yeah.
And now they're using it in Ghost of Yote. I don't mind the overusage of it, but if
If it's executed properly, it'll be great. Yeah.
I do believe they may get it right.
Okay.
Because Sucker Punch
Sucker Punch knows their stuff.
knows their stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Story is king. And with story becomes a proper balance with gameplay, you got a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh yeah. This is a nice insight into AAA titles and how they're oversaturating with the market. We hope that you would leave us your comments below. What do you think the market is going? Whether it's movies, TV shows, or games. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from Qatartainment. This is Abdurrahman.
And this is Amr.
This has been Leo.
And we'll see you all next week for another Control Geek episode on Qatartainment.